What's going on, everybody? Christian Hernandez here with Sports For You Group, and we're here speaking with a good friend and supporter of the Sports For You Group. We're here with Todd Erdley. He's the founder and president of Videon. Todd, first and foremost, how you doing, sir? And how is your tail end of 2021? We're almost through the year.
I'll tell you what, Christian, it's awesome. And, I'm really excited to be here with you and be part of SVG events and just huge shout out to you and everybody at SVG for what you're doing to really empower the industry. I look forward to your newsletter I get each day. And it's really an honor to be here. So thanks for the time.
Of course, I appreciate you and the company's continued support. First and foremost, I actually how you're doing, but more importantly, what has the company been up to? Some recent activities with a product that we're going to talk about. So the floor is yours. What have you guys been up to?
I'll tell you what, the radical difference between the day that I first signed up for an SVG event where I knew nobody in the event to where we are now is unbelievable. So here was this company, Videon, that was organically grown that I had started with a couple of other people. And we had grown into the industry and really made an impact on video and digital video and by licensing IP. And then we started to get into this notion of video streaming. And we knew that we could really transform some things. So that led to a product led to OEMs led to growth led to getting venture money. We're very fortunate to have received our seed round earlier this year from Voyager Capital. And we've put together a great go-to-market team. Trisha Bassi has taken the reins as our CEO, really excited about what Trisha is making happen. And we're here to talk to you about some big changes, not only as far as the company, but what we're going to do with the industry. So yeah, I'm ready to roll.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the funding. And yes, Trisha is a key member of your crew. I remember speaking, I believe back in February of 2021, she was part of the kind of the sit down about what Videon was doing at the beginning of the year. But one product I'd really like to kind of dive into recently, I'm sure you guys are very excited about it, is LiveEdge. So what kind of went into the development of LiveEdge, and kind of give me a little bit of synopsis of the beginning stages of that.
Christian, LiveEdge is something that we've brought forward, but to really understand what LiveEdge is, let's take a walk back.
Sure.
And let's talk about single function devices. Okay, well, what's a single function device? Let's think back to when I was younger, and that was 20 years ago, and I used a cell phone. And Christian, you probably, who knows how young you were, but I'm using a cell phone. And a cell phone was a single function device to get my voice into the network. And then Apple did something amazing. They took that single function device and they put a bunch of compute with it. And once they put compute with it, they changed it to a smartphone. Right. And a smartphone is the cell phone plus lots and lots of other functions that bring us transformative impact that we never could have dreamed possible. So what Videon first did was we created an encoder. And that encoder was brought to the market to produce 4K HEVC H.264 output. But an encoder is a single function device getting video into the network, much like the phone gets voice into the network. And we said, wow, we have this great partnership with Qualcomm. And look at all this computing power that we have with our Qualcomm device that we use. And by unleashing that compute power, instead of that being a single function device, it could be a video compute platform. Right. And what is a video compute platform? A video compute platform is a platform that provides deep video processing associated with a lot of compute power. And on that compute is where we're running and introducing LiveEdge. LiveEdge is a suite of functions and services that augments the encoder to make the encoder more than what a single function device is, to replicate things that you would find in the cloud, to do packaging, to do processing differently, to enable control, to effectively bring the data center all the way to the point of video origination. And so if you notionally think about how life changed with the cell phone becoming a smartphone, what we are really doing is creating transformation and impact by moving the encoder to a video compute platform augmented with LiveEdge.
Good history lesson, nice quick history lesson to kind of see where you guys were to where you are now. And this is where we kind of go into the present and the future. Talk to us a little bit about what broadcasters can do. I know this can, be hugely impacting live streaming. last month you talked about at our sports betting production summit. For those who weren't there, talk about what the implications were for sports betting with latency and more accurate, data, all that stuff. How can broadcasters use it, and how can this impact the industry moving forward?
I heard a gentleman from PBS a couple of years ago talk about the delivery of video as a supply chain problem.
Right.
And here today, what do we hear in the news every single day? It's a supply chain problem. Well, the delivery of video, just like you and I are doing right this moment, is a supply chain problem. So what has happened heretofore? The single function encoder would do its job. It would use a standard called RTMP, which dates back to 1996 from Adobe, and it would push that RTMP stream up to the cloud. And then the cloud would do lots and lots and lots of video processing. And that processing will cost money, will cost time, and will create different hops in the supply chain. And then after that processing is done, ultimately, the right kind of video, be it for an Apple world or an Android world, is pushed out through the network to be finally delivered. And if you look at that supply chain for a broadcaster, there's cost, there's latency, there's quality, reliability problems. So what does everybody want to do? They want to solve those four problems: quality, reliability, cost, and latency. And so what we've been doing here, Christian, is we've been looking at the supply chain to figure out what elements of that supply chain could be moved from the cloud to on-premise in a video compute platform, ergo the functionality of LiveEdge. And one of the most important functions of LiveEdge is what we call LiveEdge streaming, where instead of relying on the cloud for all the packaging, we do the packaging natively. So now we start to cut down on cost, we cut down on latency, we increase quality and increase reliability because there are less hops. And that's just one simple example of how we're moving functionality from cloud to on-prem. There are other things that are happening. So for instance, how do you bring prem to the cloud? So now let's do it the opposite way. Well, what we did there was we said, how is the cloud really put together? It uses containers, it uses Docker. What would happen if we made our device, all that compute function, Docker container compatible? Well, that's what we've done. So now you start to bring cloud down to on-prem at the point of video origination. So the real key thing for broadcasters is if you can extend your workflow all the way to the point that video originates, and you can drive that video back to the cloud with saving cost, lowering latency, increasing quality, and increasing reliability, there are interesting outcomes that enables. And that's what's fun to really talk about.
Right. And then the issues kind of subside, and then the viewers that are either watching a live stream or a bettor that's taking part in sports betting, the broadcasters are getting that feedback because it's a better experience overall. Last time we spoke about user experience, UI, all that stuff, kind of the interface that makes it easy. No one likes a unpleasurable experience. So as long as the experience is pleasurable, more people will keep coming back to that. And that's a testament to the hard work you guys are doing at Videon, right?
That's exactly right, Christian. And what it really gets down to is everybody wants their own type of engagement.
Right.
And the fan journey, especially in sports, it's no longer about, and let's just use football as the example. It's no longer about Sunday afternoon. It's about all of the events that lead up to Sunday afternoon and are after Sunday afternoon. And so there are any number of notional second screen, third screen type of events that is lower tier content. And so if we can deliver multiple angles to whatever the viewer wants when they're watching the game as part of as a second screen opportunity, right, or we can deliver intermediary content during the week, and we give them different ways to engage, and we lead to monetization opportunities through gamification because we've addressed latency. So now we're talking about giving the producer of the event a different number of colors in their palette to paint the picture. And so that's really where this notion of a smart video platform with LiveEdge function comes into play. We're increasing the ability to tell this story in a transformative way.
So you mentioned Trish, you mentioned kind of we already spoke about it, the future of where this is going. I guess to kind of close it out, two-part question. Who are other colleagues that kind of made this a reality, and how proud are you of those people for bringing this to, fruition?
It's a great question, and it's a trapped question.
Right.
So let's just take it by recognizing that there are a couple of cultural things that we really, really stress here at Videon. Equal importance, different responsibility. So Sean Kavanaugh heads up our logistics. Sean Kavanaugh makes sure that every single product ships on time without fail. Throughout COVID, we never missed a single shipment. Sean Kavanaugh down there making sure that all those UPS shipments go out on time, he's key to this whole thing. Don Crust takes care of quality as far as making sure the parts are right. So the platform we deliver is correct.
Right.
Paul Brown, my CTO, my co-founder, his brain helps make this thing all come together. And I could go on person after person after person, but the point is equal importance, different responsibility, with the most important person to the whole thing being our customers, who not only are the buyers, but they're our enablers, because they've been really great at giving us feedback, telling us what they want, and creating this wonderful partnership that together we're doing fun things. So it's both internal and external that's been part of the journey.
We'll kind of equate it back to sports. It's all about the team. The team, everyone pulls their weight. Everyone has a role. As long as everyone's, working well and exceeding the expectations of the role, everyone's happy and the product is doing great. Todd, thank you for the time, sir. Can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. We have our summit coming up in New York.
Be there.
Yes, didn't get to see you back in March of 2020 when kind of things went down, but gladly we'll be able to walk up to you in person and say hello, because we've spoken many times through Zoom. But thank you for the time, Todd. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and hope to see you soon.
And thank you again to you and everybody at Sports Video Group. It's really wonderful to be part of this, and I appreciate your time today.